budget is within the 100 kwacha. So under this one, I always give an example to say, let's say for example, you want to go and buy tomato and onion, okay? So in the mathematical representation, okay, we want to conform, or we want to represent mathematically. You know, what does the tomato represent mathematically? What does the onion represent mathematically? So we normally use under linear programming, we use most of these common letters or variables like X and Y or even Z, okay? But for the basics, we use X and Y. So let's say for example, so the X is tomatoes, okay? And then the Y is onion, okay? So mathematically, we want to present that, okay? So the X represents the tomato, and then the Y represents the onion. So I want you to understand that you have got 100 kwacha. And let us just assume that from the 100 kwacha, you just want to buy two kind of goods, okay, like the onion and then also the tomato. But everything that you want to buy, the 100 kwacha should be enough, okay? So now here comes the logic, the decision making part concept, okay? So I want to say that X plus Y should be equal to the 100 kwacha that I do have, okay? Now, I want to understand that this an equal sign should be not like the normal traditional equal sign, okay? This one should only be an inequation, okay? The symbols that represent inequations or inequalities, okay? So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say the amount of tomatoes as well as the amount of onion should be less than or equal to 100 kwacha. And that's a fundamental, objective of what linear programming is. So linear programming in its totality sense is that whatever you are trying to do, the objective is trying to, let's say for example, if you are trying to produce something, is normally to minimize on the cost or the expenditure or the expenses of buying stuff and things like that. But you also want to actually maximize on your profit making, okay? So you want to know maybe how much of this product should I use, how much of the other product should I use, okay? So that's a key fundamental about linear programming, okay? So now, this is just an example of what we'll see in the next coming up videos concerning linear programming. So now I want you to understand that the basics of linear programming starts with what we call inequations or inequalities, okay? Okay, so now, when you're talking about inequalities or inequation symbols, okay, inequality symbols, now these are symbols that are logically representational. For example, when something is greater than, when something is less than, what is a symbol for that? When something is also maybe, equal to the same thing that you want to do, what is a symbol for that? Okay, so now, inequality symbols, okay, so these are the symbols that help us to make the decisions, okay. If whatever that we are planning to do does not conform to our decision, or rather the symbol, or rather maybe the conditions that we have in terms of the symbols, then we shall not actually do the activity or the job or anything, okay. So even in the real world, okay, so linear programming is literally everywhere, okay, so like in job, employment and everything, you know, I cannot stress the fact that linear programming is part of what helps us to make decisions, what helps us to think logically and everything else that you can mention up. Okay, but nevertheless, what are these symbols that we are talking about? So the symbols are so we have, in the statement form, we have greater than or equal to, okay? And then we have the second, statement symbol is less than or equal to, okay? Then the third one, now we have basically about 4 inequality symbols, okay? Now, greater than or equal to, what does that symbol looks like, or how do you represent something like that, okay? And then less than or equal to, so again, what is a symbol for that, and how does it look like, or what does it look like? And then also we have the last two is greater than, and then also less than. So what are these symbols looks like, okay? So now, when you are saying greater than or equal to, so we use this symbol, okay? So we use that symbol where, for example, if I do this, and then this part, okay, it is open like this, okay? So there is a space there, okay? So it is open. So this part is what is referred to as something like, greater than, okay? And then this one, less than or equal to, so it is the opposite of that, okay? So it is the same thing. Now you start with this part, okay? Less than, okay? So less than or equal to. Now remember that these are down parts, okay? The down parts, this one, when you write this one, okay, is what it means equal to. And then the other one is what also means equal to. So this one, greater than, so it is just this one, but you remove that bar or the bar at the bottom. So you just write like this, okay? And then the last one is less than, okay? So the opposite of this one is this one, okay? So these are the basic fundamentals of linear programming, okay? So you cannot understand linear programming if you do not understand the basics of inequality symbols or in equations, okay? So we are going to do about 2 examples. Examples for each of these, for each of the symbols that I've just, pointed out, so that we see what is the actual meaning of greater than or equal to, and then also what is the meaning of less than or equal to, and also what is the meaning of greater than, and lastly, what is the meaning of less than, okay? And then in the next video now, we shall now start to get now just a bit advanced in terms of, the shading part of, graphical work. Linear programming involves also putting some of the details on our graph paper so that we know the boundaries, the areas in which we are working around with, so that we are able to make a better decision, okay? And please make sure that you do understand this. Linear programming helps us to make proper decisions, okay, after we look at the conditions that are variable and what we are restricted to do and what we are not restricted to do. Okay, so just pay attention. Okay, so let's now get into the examples of each of these so that we see how we can now begin to use the greater than symbol or equal to, the less than or equal to symbol, the greater than or the greater than symbol, and also finally the less than symbol. Okay, so just stay tuned and follow. Okay, so let's see the examples that we can try to solve and see how we can be able to understand the meaning of greater than or equal to, the meaning of less than or equal to, the meaning of greater than, just greater than, also the meaning of less than. Okay, so we have the examples right here. Now, the first one is saying x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so that's how you read this symbol. Okay, the opening part, okay, so the opening part is the greater than or equal to. So in fact, by the way, if there is this, a bar down there, this one, okay, so it is read as equal to. Okay, so you're saying x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 10, and then also y minus 10 is less than or equal to 10, and then x minus 1 is greater than 3. So this one is just greater than. Okay, so I want you to pay just close attention, okay, to these basics, okay, because once you just get the basics, okay, everything will just move smoothly and then without friction. And then the last one is y plus 2 is less than 10. Okay, so now what is the question now? So when you look at the question, it's saying solve the following inequations. Okay, so now the easiest way of solving these equations the easiest is that if you are confused, if you are not sure about this sign, okay, I really encourage you that you change this one to an equal sign, okay? But there are some of the things that you're supposed also to know, just not the matter of changing this or symbol, inequality symbol, to just an equal sign symbol, no. So this is going to be x plus 2. Okay. But now the first thing that you do is this one is x plus 2 equal to. So you change this one, okay? Now, why are we doing that? We are doing that because most of you, before you could get the concept of inequalities, you might be confused with how to properly use that symbol, okay, an equality symbol. So for the beginning part, you must at least, you change that symbol to an equal sign so that everything now can look so familiar with you, that because you have already solved some of the equations, okay? So the equal sign is a symbol that you have grown up with, grade 7 all the way up to grade 12 and also college or university, okay? So I really encourage you that you change the symbol to an equal sign. Now from there, you ask yourself, when they say x plus 2, what does this mean? What it means is that they are saying that x is a number that we don't know, okay? So anything that we don't know, we can represent it using any kind of a letter within the alphabet, okay? So x plus 2 is actually going to give us 10. But what is the number that x represents? Okay, so you can think of a number, even just logically within your head, you can just, what number can you add? So x is a number that when I add x is a number, when I add x to, when x is added to 2 or 2 is added to x, then you should be able to get 10. So what number is that? Okay, 8 plus 2 give me 10, so therefore x equals to Okay. So where there is x, when you put 8 where there is x, and then you say 8 plus 2, you're going to get 10. Okay. But the examiner wants you to show them, okay? They want you to show them that how did you find 8, okay? So what you do there is this, I must get rid of this 2, meaning what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2 to the other side, okay? So x equals 2. Now the moment you just write the equal sign, okay, you also write what comes after the equal sign, which is 10. From there now, this 2 is now crossed over. Okay, so it is positive, it becomes negative. Okay, so this means that x equals to 8. Now, we are not just going to say that x equals to 8 because we are doing some inequality symbols, remember? So we are supposed to bring back the normal symbol that we had at first, okay? So therefore, x is greater than 8. So as simple as that, okay? What this means that x is a number that is greater than 8, and then this same x is a number that is equal to 8, okay? So x is greater than or equal to 8, okay? So meaning 8, if for example the question says that can you list some of these numbers that are greater than or equal to 8? So you should start at 8 and then increasing, okay?